We've been coming up here a lot lately.
A lot.
You got to stop bringing in all
It's
this cool
because
stuff.
I bring in weird stuff, and Tony likes weird
I
stuff.
love weird stuff. I also have a thing for old Vettes, believe it or not. Did you know that I was the technical editor for Vette magazine from like 1985 to like 1988?
Not the best years for Corvette, but
But I was the technical
you were the
editor.
technical
Right.
editor, so there's that, yeah.
And in like the 80s, a lot of stuff was happening in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the story. Everybody loves, every car guy loves a good story.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter if you
Car's
like the
gotta have
cars
a
or not.
story. Car's gotta have a story.
Okay, this thing's got a story and a half.
Yeah.
Right? So why don't you tell them, give them the whole thing from the very beginning.
Okay. In 1989, VH1 gave away 36 Corvettes, one of every year up until 89. They did not make an 83, so there wasn't one of them. 36 cars in total to one winner. He won the cars, a guy from Long Island, and on Long Island, you have no place to park 36 cars. So he promptly sold the entire collection to a pop artist who was actually gonna paint these cars with flowers and
Do you know who the artist was?
Max something. I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I knew. But he never got whatever funding he needed or whatever it was for him to do this parade of just terribly destroyed Corvettes is what he wanted to do. So the cars sat in a parking garage for 30 years, actually 4 different parking garages because they got moved as buildings got sold. With zero care at all. Nobody started them, nobody covered them, nobody washed them, nothing. If you go to CorvetteHeroes.com, you can see the pictures of them, and you can actually still get raffle tickets for 20 that are left that they're going to raffle off. And Chris Mazzilli, he owns a restoration shop in Long Island, came up with the idea to donate funds from the raffle to various veterans charities. They did National Guard Educational Fund was the first 10 cars. This one is, I believe it's sftt.org, which is a charity for brain injuries like I have. Not really, but brain injuries and traumatic brain injuries and PTSD. So the $3 that you pay for a lottery ticket on this car is really going to a good cause. So,
But let's show them the car.
sure.
So this is crazy, right? So this is a 54. As far as I can make it tell, it's an original paint car. It's an original everything car.
Yes, and it's a second flight Corvette. It has been in a show since it was recovered, and it went to a show and they got second flight, which, you know, Corvettes, getting second flight is no easy deal.
This car is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers, they think Corvettes like Stingrays and whatnot. They don't really know the
Right.
history, the original, you know, like the original intent of the car.
Yep.
Right? So, these things, where do you start? Yeah,
This is tough. This car came out, Ford quickly came out with a Thunderbird to compete with it, and within a couple of years, Ford realized we're never going to compete with this car, so Thunderbirds became boats. This is the first 2 years or 3 years, this car was just an inline 6. That's all. At the time,
the
150.
blue flame slicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pop that
I'll
in.
pop the hood.
155 horsepower, which for 1954 was probably quite a bit of horsepower. And then, as you know, a lot of these cars were cut and they made drag cars and all kinds of stuff because the basic design of the car was pretty cool, just underpowered. So put a giant V8 in it, let's go racing.
Well, it depends on what you consider to be underpowered or not. You know, I of all the Corvettes made, right, this is the one I would want. Because it's just the purity, it's like the original
It's the original deal.
incarnation of it.
C1.
Still Volt 6 with a few carburetors. I mean, how do you beat that, right?
It's got a Power Glide automatic. Original interior, I mean, as you can see, there's still, you know, some of the seams are, got a little tear here, but to change that and redo anything takes away from its second flight status.
Look at the shifter on this thing. I was telling Jim before, these cars remind me of boats. Mm-hmm. It's almost...
It's like a boat throttle.
Right, it's like a boat throttle. So this car's in here for what now?
Just a general drivability assessment. They only did what was basically needed to make the cars run and drive.
Right.
In order to raffle them off. Well, brakes weren't really up to par, things like, so we're going through the brakes, going through the front end, maybe kingpins. It's got a couple oil leaks, which most of the
It's
slow
supposed
bolt
to.
motors did,
Right.
and we're gonna leave them.
There you go. This is state-of-the-art sports car braking, 1954. The condition of this thing is just amazing. Yeah, come on over. So GM had a thing for X-frames back in the day.
Yes.
But this isn't really an X-frame. It's just a brace that they added to the...
To the regular box.
Right. And it's a solid rear. Do you know what else shared this housing? Because this is smaller than the one typically found.
I do not know. It is pretty small though.
Yeah. This car's just in amazing condition.
It is. But then again, it sat inside for 30 years, but it sat inside with no particular care whatsoever. It just sat, that's all. So a lot of the cars deteriorated over time, much worse than this one did. Renee, who won this car, is actually very lucky because it's one of the cars that did not deteriorate. So they're restoring the 53, the company that's doing the raffle, they're restoring the 53 to top flight. But it's going to be a $600,000 restoration. So this is a good driver.
Oh, I'd say this is more than just a driver.
Yeah.
This is, so here, you look over here, this car has dual exhaust. It's got two, see this, what you would think is a Y pipe is actually its own separate runner. And then it runs dual straight to the back. And steering is great. Just everything on this car is amazing. I want this.
It's actually mechanically sound. We're just doing some safety stuff to it so they can actually drive it and take it to shows, because that's literally all they're going to do with the cars is go to shows.
So you'll have this thing together and running when?
Oh, it runs now.
It runs now.
I'll start it right up for you. But
Well, I mean, you're
as
gonna
far
have-
as
you
far
see, you
as
said it,
wheels,
now you have to do it.
I can do it.
All right, let this thing down
But
on the ground. I
As
wanna
far
hear
as
this.
wheels on it and driving it and things like that, it'll be probably next week.
Okay. Yeah, this is the important part. All right, so light this thing up for us, man.
I can do that.
Here, come here, Pat. Come around. So you see this car's got a manual choke and all? Here, wait, hang on. Let it come around. So your manual choke,
Yep, you just pull the choke, pump it a couple times.
which was the common thing today.
Dreaming of a summer getaway? This month, Keller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical is giving away a free week-long vacation.
Kill that before we get a copyright.
I know.
Ah, that's priceless, bro. That's beautiful. You just made my whole day.
Well, I'm glad I could do that. You know we get weird stuff in here, so.
Oh, it was definitely worth the drive.
Oh, yeah.
So next week you'll have this thing?
Yeah, I'll be
all-
on the ground. We're actually doing some concrete work. I can't even get out of the garage right now, but we'll have it on the ground and doing some test drives with it and stuff like that.
Nice. And you're gonna cover all that on your channel,
Yes, I will.
which is,
Yep.
we'll put a link to his channel. Yeah,
Yep, it's Bennett's Hot Rod Garage and Classic Restoration. Thank you, Uncle Tony, for giving us a shout out.
no, I may have to come up when you get this thing running, just so we can go cruising
Oh
around.
yeah,
a
we'll
little
go
bit.
for a ride in it. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be scared to death, but it's like when I was behind the scenes, Joe was with me when I went and picked it up and I had it on the record. I've been towing forever. And he goes, "You're nervous." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've never been nervous towing a car, but towing this one, I was a little bit nervous. I had my eyes in the rearview mirror more than I had them out the windshield, so.
Let me tell you something, I'm surrounded by cars, my every day, all the time, everywhere, right? They bore me. I mean, they don't bore me, but I don't get excited about stuff.
Right.
I want to go for a cruise in this thing.
We can do that. We'll do it.
All right, then let's get out of here.
All right.
I gotta get back to my place, because I spent too much time
I know,
here
I
at
gotta put
yours.
these guys back to work.
They think they quit.
No, they're sitting in there watching us through the fishbowl.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.